Tonight on CTV News, tackling healthcare woes.
So the whole system needs a serious review.
The province opens a new urgent care centre, but is the model working as patients raise concerns about staffing?
Don't kill us, bruh.
Reckless ride. A 16-year-old Abbotsford driver tries to evade police, his passenger fearing for his life.
I understand why British Columbians are frustrated.
Plummeting in the polls, how Premier David Eby is responding to one of the lowest approval ratings among premiers.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The Tri-Cities is home to BC's newest urgent and primary care centre, part of the province's strategy to take the pressure off emergency rooms. Dozens are now scattered across the province. But are the centres living up to their promise? The opposition says one key issue is still unresolved. CTV's Penny Daflos takes a closer look.
Before patients see the inside of these rooms, the health minister and senior officials took a tour of BC's newest urgent and primary care facility in Port Coquitlam.
This centre follows a team-based model, bringing together physicians, nurse practitioners, allied health professionals, social workers, and support staff.
Setup is still underway, with finishing touches to welcome patients to the sprawling 11,000 square foot facility next week, complete with medical imaging services.
I'm thrilled that it's here. It's going to alleviate pressure, certainly, on Eagle Ridge Hospital.
This is the 46th urgent care centre in BC, part of the NDP government strategy to reduce costly hospital visits for relatively minor issues when patients can't see a primary care doctor in time, if they even have one.
How much is it costing per visit? And it seems that they're quite inefficient, cost per patient as compared to a GP's office.
The BC Conservatives have been tracking UPCCs, identifying staffing shortages as a major issue. Patients often complain about UPCCs closing early or turning them away altogether because there aren't enough clinical personnel.
The whole system needs a serious review.
Why are you opening a new urgent care centre when you're struggling to keep the current ones that are open staffed?
They really take the pressure off of emergency rooms. If somebody knows that they have a minor issue that can be dealt with quickly at a centre such as this, knowing that this will be open after hours until 8 p.m. after work, it's open on statutory holidays, that makes a real difference for people.
There's no denying the fact that there's always going to be, in the next little while, challenges to get a full slate, but it's looking very hopeful, more hopeful than ever before.
The concept of urgent care centres is solid, and they're common in many jurisdictions. BC doesn't appear to have enough doctors or nurse practitioners to get the best use out of them. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Port Coquitlam.
The NDP's handling of healthcare is one of the reasons the Premier's approval rating is sinking. And a new poll shows his popularity has dropped to an all-time low. CTV's Martin McMahon takes a look at how David Eby got here and whether there's a way out.
Stability, predictability. In times of crisis, ensuring that we're leaning into our strengths.
In politics, as in other aspects of life, when it rains, it pours. And on a soggy day in Maple Ridge, Premier David Eby faced up to the deluge of negative headlines in recent months.
I understand why British Columbians are frustrated, but I can assure them that there is no place else that I would rather be than in this province right now to face these huge challenges.
A new poll from the Angus Reid Institute reveals Eby's popularity has dropped from 53% approval this time last year to 37%.
Since then, it's been a very steep decline. So he's gone down 16 points since then, and now is at the lowest level that we've recorded.
The challenges include the recent budget projecting a $13 billion deficit and controversy over Aboriginal title, not to mention the handling of health care. Asked about whether he has caucus support, Eby took a shot at the opposition.
As I look across the way, I see the Conservatives in total disarray, attacks on each other, unclear direction. In financial distress, with almost a dozen people running for leader after throwing out their leader, 5 MLAs leaving the caucus.
Well, I think the Premier's got to focus on his own backyard. And the fact of the matter is that in the last 3 months, our polling's been significant. Our fundraising's been very strong. but we're focused on the real issues, and that's putting forward a credible alternative to this NDP government.
What's clear is that EB is getting out in public, trying to change perception, including this election period style photo op at a new welding fabrication facility in Maple Ridge.
If things continue down this path and the NDP continues to suffer in the polls in this way, and David Eby specifically, we will hear louder calls for a change of leadership. But we're still some way from that moment.
With trade and geopolitical issues still posing challenges, Eby has one thing on his side: time, with the next election not scheduled for another 2.5 years. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Maple Ridge.
The Canada Border Services Agency says dozens of people have now been deported as part of a growing crackdown on extortion-related crime. The agency says it's launched more than 370 immigration investigations, issued 70 removal orders, and already removed 35 people from the country. Officials highlighted 2 of those deported, including Arshdeep Singh, who entered Canada on a study permit in 2022, was later found inadmissible over alleged links to a criminal organization. Sukhanaz Singh Sandhu, a temporary resident since 2016, was also found inadmissible for his crime connections and was ordered to leave. A forensic psychologist testified today at the trial of the man accused of stabbing Paul Schmidt to death at a downtown Starbucks. CTV's Ben Milger was in court and has more on what the expert witness says about the accused's state of mind, and a warning some viewers may find the details in this story disturbing.
At various times in his adult life, Inderdeep Singh Gosal has suffered from paranoid delusions and an impending sense of doom. That's according to a forensic psychologist who reviewed Gosal's medical records and the evidence in the case. He also spoke directly to Gosal about his mental health history and the fateful moments that left Paul Schmidt dead. Gosal and Schmidt did not know each other, but had a verbal altercation outside the Starbucks at Granville and Pender Streets in March of 2023. Schmidt then approached Gosal, and the two began to fight. The court has heard Schmidt died of 6 stab wounds to the chest and abdomen. Called by Gosal's defense, forensic psychiatrist Johan Brink testified that, in his opinion, Gosal's antipsychotic meds were prescribed in too low of a dose to control his delusions. Gosal himself testified earlier he had actually stopped taking the meds. When he was off medication, he lived in a constant state of fear and suspicion and bewilderment, Brink told the court. He said Gosal often thought crows were talking to him and heard voices speaking to him personally through the television, which fed his paranoia and fear. Brink said Gosal told him he only had a partial memory of the fight. I think that he was more likely than not to believe that he was in serious peril and that the victim attacked him in a manner that made him believe he was very likely to be injured, and hence that he had to defend himself, Brink added. The psychologist is scheduled to return to the stand on Thursday and Friday. Gosal is charged with second-degree murder. His defense team says a verdict of manslaughter would be more appropriate given the facts in this case. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
The province has increased the amount of compensation victims of intimate image abuse can seek through the Civil Resolution Tribunal. The previous compensation limit for people who have had their intimate images shared online without their consent was $5,000. That amount has now been raised to $75,000. Updates also make it easier to have images removed quickly and hold offenders accountable through the Civil Resolution Tribunal.
There are consequences, real consequences for doing this. If you are distributing an image that's an intimate image without that person's consent, you are doing something that's wrong and it's a crime. And there also could be up to $75,000 of fines against you.
Since it was enacted, the Intimate Protections Act has resolved nearly 400 disputes. More than 800 drivers were pulled over as part of a large-scale impaired driving enforcement operation in Richmond. The counterattack campaign took place in a number of high-traffic locations around the city earlier this month. In 3 hours, officers handed out 31 violation tickets representing 45 charges, along with 2 notice and order violations. Mounties say information garnered during the campaign will help guide where they focus their resources. Getting back on track, the BC Greens are proposing an expansion of passenger rail service in the province to create thousands of jobs and better connect BC's communities. The details in just a moment, but first, let's go outside to Burrard Street, looking damp and gray, but it doesn't look like it's raining right now. It's 6:09, but it was a pretty wet day. I would say like 10 on the frizzy hair meter.
Yes, 100% for you, definitely. Yeah, straightening your hair today. It was very gray, very wet, and we still have warnings in place for West Vancouver Island, parts of Metro Vancouver, Howe Sound, and the Fraser Valley, upwards of 130 millimeters of rain today right through until Friday morning, which means they have upgraded the flood watch situation for the South Coast Basin as well as the Fraser Valley. So expect to see a high stream flow and possible flooding.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
A soggy end to the season of winter, but it's looking nice and bright as we head into the weekend. Those details coming up.
There is some hope at the end of the week. Okay, thanks, Anne. Imagine passenger train service all over the province, from Victoria to Campbell River or Vancouver to Whistler and beyond. The idea is being floated by the leader of BC's Green Party. CTV's St. John Alexander now on the push to bring BC back on track.
There was a time in this fair land when the railway did run all over BC, bringing passengers north to south and back again. The evidence is still there, everywhere. Like on Vancouver Island, where the leader of the BC Green Party says it's time to get things rolling again.
Getting the island corridor back online, having, Vancouver Island connectivity is so obvious and key.
The ride doesn't end there. Emily Lowen envisions trains full of locals and tourists heading to ski hills. Others might hop on in Vancouver and get off in the Kootenays or maybe Prince Rupert. A massive transportation network like they have in Europe and Asia. She believes it will create thousands of jobs, ease congestion, and boost the construction, energy, tourism, and local economies.
The government puts a lot of downward pressure on political imagination, but it's clear to me, I was touring the province for multiple months, and the resounding demand from people on transit was actually rail.
Now, Lowen proposes starting on the island first, all the while consulting with First Nations. Now, history shows it won't be easy. Some tracks are in bad shape, some can't handle heavy loads, and there have been lots of unique attempts to get things up and running again.
Would you be interested in riding on this in the future?
The BC government has been keeping a keen eye on the corridor for some time.
We believe it has a future based on all of the analysis that we've done.
And has kicked in millions of dollars for future planning. But so far anyway, doesn't believe enough people live on the island to justify the expense, while acknowledging that is changing rapidly, which brings us to how much? Well, no one has a final figure, but a major rail line across BC would easily cost several $1 billion.
But, the longer that the government waits, the more expensive this will be.
Whether the plan will ever leave the station is far from certain. But for eager passengers, it's long overdue. St. John Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Growing public safety concerns after the city of Vancouver decided that the number of beaches with lifeguards will be cut in half. Also ahead.
When you're under stress, all you can see is a tiny portion of the road in front of you.
That theory behind this 16-year-old's wild ride on Highway 1 trying to flee police. His passengers scared he would get killed. That's ahead. BC Highway Patrol has released video from a joyride gone wrong in the Fraser Valley last summer. A teen driver blew off an officer trying to stop him and then barreled down Highway 1 at alarming speeds. As CTV's Ben Nesbitt reports, police are hoping the video will serve as a wake-up call for younger drivers and their parents.
The joyride began as fun and games for the teens cruising along Highway 1 near the Fraser Valley community of Popcom. But the 16-year-old behind the wheel of his stepmom's BMW, who police say was clocked going 180 kilometers an hour, refuses to stop after being flagged by an officer.
Don't Don't kill us, bro.
It looks like the driver had what we call auditory and visual exclusion. So when you're under stress, all you can see is a tiny portion of the road in front of you. He probably was not listening to the people in the car next to him.
After driving along the shoulder, he would take the next exit, still flying along at a high speed, before pulling into a parking lot where their journey came to a crashing halt.
Go, 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 let's go, let's go! Run! Run where?
Fortunately, nobody was hurt after the vehicle crashed into a parked dump truck. The driver was charged with several infractions, including excessive speeding, failing to obey a stop sign, and too many passengers for his license class. Highway Patrol is hoping releasing the footage will serve as a warning for others.
Graduated licensing exists for a reason. It's so that people can get accustomed to the complex task that is driving. And we take it for granted, but it's very dangerous when done badly.
The teen had his license suspended for a year, while his stepmom was left to pay for the repairs and likely some hefty insurance premiums. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Vancouver. And welcome back. We apologize for those technical issues. We're back on track now. Public safety concerns are growing after Vancouver's decision to remove lifeguards at half of its staffed beaches. Starting May long weekend, there will no longer be lifeguards on duty at Sunset Beach, Third Beach, Spanish Banks, East and West, and Trout Lake. The Vancouver Park Board says it's a must, with the department facing $11 million in cuts to this year's budget. But water safety advocates are calling the decision disappointing.
Fewer than 1% of drownings in British Columbia occur in lifeguard supervised areas, which means that 99% of drownings are occurring in non-lifeguarded areas. I would hate to see any incidents occur at these beaches this summer simply because the appropriate preventative measures weren't taken.
The board says no layoffs will happen and guards will simply be shifted to other facilities. It says it's prioritizing beaches and pools where demand is higher, but wouldn't say how much money the move is saving them. Overseas now, Israeli forces leveled a 10-story apartment building in Beirut today, about an hour after issuing an evacuation notice. The Israeli military claimed the building was being used by the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group. Officials say at least 10 people were killed. No warnings were issued in advance of strikes on other buildings. Lebanon's health ministry says since March 2nd, Israeli airstrikes have killed more than 900 people, injured thousands, and displaced another 1 million. Oil prices jumped again today as the U.S. and Israel continue their missile attacks on Iran. U.S. Central Command says it dropped bunker-busting bombs on Iranian sites near the Strait of Hormuz, while oil sites linked to Iran were reportedly hit by Israel. Iran also confirmed its intelligence minister was killed. The regime has vowed to respond by attacking energy sites in the Gulf, warning people to stay away from facilities in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar.
I'm not convinced that there is a military solution to this, and they have to go the diplomatic route. If you keep killing the Iranian leadership, who are you going to negotiate with?
Iran has allowed a few tanker ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, but the shipping route effectively remains closed. The UAE has said it is open to joining a U.S.-led effort to protect the strait, but at this point, there is no plan in place. The U.S. president's top intelligence officials testified publicly today for the first time since the U.S. and Israel launched missile strikes in Iran. Lawmakers demanded to know what the evidence was to justify the war. Democrats asked why they attack now after Trump said their strikes on Iran last June obliterated the country's nuclear program.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
Trump's intelligence director says it's not her job to determine what counts as an imminent threat. This comes as her chief of staff, Joe Kent, just resigned in protest, suggesting Trump was duped into war by Israel. He missed the glitz and glam of the Oscars, but Sean Penn received a special tribute while on a trip to Ukraine.
It's not golden, but it's very real and from the bottom of our hearts.
The actor was given an Oscar-shaped award made from a rail car damaged in a Russian attack. Penn won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his role in One Battle After Another, but skipped Sunday's ceremony to meet Volodymyr Zelensky. The longtime advocate for Ukraine has visited the country several times during the 4-year war with Russia.
It's not golden, but it's very real and from
The family of a Japanese-Canadian World War I veteran is finally getting closure. Months after CTV News shared the story of Private Santaro Omoto and his ashes being abandoned in Vancouver, a local organization is stepping up to honor the soldier who fought at Vimy Ridge. CTV's Craig Krause has more.
He's right on the corner, right next.
Back on Remembrance Day, you might remember Catherine Uchida and her sister wandering the streets of Vancouver searching for their grandfather.
You wonder how many people, actually look up and look and read.
Private Santaro Omoto, a World War I soldier originally from Japan, died in 1953. His ashes abandoned in a Vancouver Buddhist temple ever since.
I need to make this right. I'm on a quest.
Months after Yoshida shared her story, we're now learning that a letter was sent to a group that works to bury veterans with dignity. It's called the Last Post Fund, but there's one big issue. There's a policy in place that only allows soldiers to be buried within 1 year of their death. Omoto's ashes have been in this Buddhist temple for more than 70 years. Yet the Last Post Fund had an idea and sent it to a vote.
And my motion was to support up to about $8,000 with regards to buying a plot for Mr. Omoto. And so the vote passed unanimously.
Using private donations to honor Omoto to make sure no Canadian soldier is left behind.
We're going to correct it and make it right for the family.
During our interview with Usher, we were joined by Uchida from Los Angeles.
So you two haven't met before. This is the first time?
No, first time. The family is indebted to you folks. You don't understand what this means.
The family is now planning to move Omoto's urn to the Mountain View Cemetery in Vancouver this summer, where he will be laid to rest alongside his comrades.
We're going to throw his ashes to the wind, and then he would be lost forever. And he didn't deserve that.
An option, no more, all thanks to a few people, including historian Debbie Zhang, who discovered Omoto's story last May and has worked tirelessly to make sure he's not forgotten.
It means closure for this family.
A sense of peace, ending a long and painful journey.
We're just forever grateful, and I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Craig Krause, CTV News, Vancouver.
From coffee counters to convenience stores, prompts are popping up everywhere, and many customers say expectations have gone too far. Have Canadians finally reached a tipping point? Next on CTV News at 6. Tipping used to be a no-brainer for many of us. You leave a little extra money for good service. Now there is an expectation to leave a tip in places where it wasn't expected before. As CTV's Kimberly Fowler reports, a new survey suggests Canadians are fed up with tipping culture altogether.
A lot of Canadians say they're pretty much done with tipping.
I think it should be included in the price. You shouldn't be asked to tip.
Just because you're doing your job doesn't mean you need to be tipped for doing your job.
Many businesses implemented suggesting tipping options during the pandemic, but now the expectation to leave a tip has some customers saying it's gone too far.
I used to love tipping extra for really good service, and I feel like that's kind of gone away now. Even for bare minimum service, they expect 18-20%.
And they're not alone. A new survey by H&R Block finds 2/3 of Canadians want to do away with the practice. And nearly 9 out of 10 people say they resent businesses that ask for tips at places where they don't feel tipping is necessary. And 4 out of 10 people say they avoid going to places that ask for tips at the register, like fast food places, coffee shops, or self-service counters.
I go to Chuck's here quite a bit. They don't ask for a tip, and the service is fantastic.
At Chuck's Deli and Convenience at train yards, tips aren't expected, but appreciated.
They have a tip jar, which is optional at the counter, which I do quite often with them because the ladies are fabulous.
The owner believes all tips should be left up to his customers.
Some good customers like to, and some people they don't. They walk out without tipping. One guy, construction worker guys, he grabbed a $50 and he put it for a lady. So you never know.
Chicken pickle vegetable?
But getting rid of tipping could affect the day-to-day operations in the service industry, and at restaurants, it could mean higher prices for customers to offset the loss of income to employees.
I would assume it would be included in the price. I mean, minimum wage is quite high already, so if tipping were to be taken away, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the workforce would look like for that.
But many say the tip options make them feel guilty or pressured.
Even though we feel annoyed by this question for the tip on the machine, 57% of us, so more than half of us, will give a tip anyway.
I know this debate has been raging on for years, and it's hard to just completely remove tips from our culture. That's the way it's been for a long, long time.
I don't think completely remove restaurants for sure, but if someone is just grabbing you a donut, unnecessary.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think those little options are going to go away anytime soon.
I don't think so. I just use them as suggestions.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's take a look at our forecast. Another wet day out there. Here is a look at the rainfall amounts that we've seen so far from Sunday to this afternoon. 142 millimeters for Tofino, Coquitlam at 147 millimeters, 103 for West Vancouver, Squamish at 95 millimeters of rain. And it was also warm out there, 22.7 degrees in Osoyoos today. That was the hot spot across the country, slowly sneaking by the records set back in 2024 at 22 degrees. And that's all because of this atmospheric river bringing in some subtropical moisture from the Hawaiian Islands. So it's a classic pineapple express. We're going to continue to see warm temperatures as we head into the next couple of days. So rainfall warning still in effect. Yellow warning for West Vancouver Island. You'll see rain upwards of 120 millimeters of rain. That's what you can expect for Howe Sound, parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. And that is today right through until Friday. So here's a look at our storm tracker. Periods of heavy rain right now for the northeast corners of Metro Vancouver, stretching to the Fraser Valley, continuing through tonight. The overnight eases just a touch into tomorrow morning. We will see periods of rain continuing through the afternoon once again, and into tomorrow night. It'll slowly ease off as we head into the latter part of tomorrow night. You will see some sunny breaks tomorrow for the southern interior. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Gray and wet once again for Port Hardy with a high of 9. You'll warm up to 12 degrees for Campbell River and Comox with periods of rain. That's what you can expect for the South Island from Tofino right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 11 and 12 degrees. You'll see 11s for the Sunshine Coast. Cooler up the Sea to Sky Highway, 9 for Squamish, 7 for Whistler, and for us across the lower mainland. Periods of rain with temperatures between 11 and 12 degrees. Heading into Friday, we start off wet. Dries up through the afternoon, 13 degrees. Say hello to spring at 7:46. Clears up for Saturday. Clouds over for Sunday and Monday. And then the rain returns on Tuesday, slowly clearing in the afternoon, cooling down as well on Wednesday with a high of 8. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So a bright spot in the forecast just in time for the weekend.
Yeah, it's been quite the wet last week, I guess. Yeah, making up for the dry winter we had. Definitely. All right, thanks, Anne. Fallout from skyrocketing gas prices. Electric vehicle dealers say it's driving more interest in EVs.
My last name and my middle name were joined. I called them
Their employee said it should be fine.
Typo turbulence. Why in Ontario, man had to pay thousands of dollars for a new ticket after the airline made a mistake printing his name ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch, a gloomy time-lapse shot of downtown Vancouver in the distance from Burnaby's Hyde Park on a very cloudy, late wintry day.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar dropped a bit, now trading for just under 73 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down 7 cents, closing the day at $95.46 a barrel. Gold down nearly $112. And amid interest rate decisions from the Bank of Canada and the U.S. Federal Reserve, the TSX was down 616 points, while the Dow Jones was down 768 points. The Bank of Canada's key interest rate is remaining unchanged for the fourth straight time. The interest rate is staying at 2.25%, which has not changed since October 29th of last year. It comes after the bank weighed the effects of the war in Iran, trade uncertainty, and recent economic data. The Bank of Canada also warned rising oil prices caused by the war will push up inflation in the short term. With the cost of gas now more than $2 a litre at many stations, electric vehicle dealers say interest has spiked. A used car dealer on Vancouver Island says many customers are curious about the return on investment, which industry experts say can amount to a few $1,000s a year, depending on your driving habits. A UBC economics professor says switching to electric is an effective way for drivers to insulate themselves from the whims of the world oil market.
Many people here in British Columbia have made the switch to electric vehicles, and they are pretty much immune to what's happening in the oil markets.
The federal government recently announced rebates for Canada-made EVs and EVs that cost less than $50,000. On its website, Transport Canada lists more than 70 models that align with that price cap. A man planned a dream trip to Thailand, but after buying his ticket, he noticed there was no space between his middle name and last name. He was told the typo wouldn't cause any problems, but it did, and forced him to buy a new ticket for more than $11,000. CTV's Pat Foran has the story.
Brandon Bowman of Milton traveled to Thailand in January for almost 3 weeks and says the vacation was one of the best adventures of his life. But it came with some stress. In November, when he booked his tickets with Air Canada, he noticed there was a space missing between his last name, Bowman, and his middle name, Rodriguez.
My last name and my middle name were joined. I called them. Their employee said it should be fine.
The return ticket to Thailand cost him almost $5,000. 2 days before his flight, he thought he should check in to make sure everything was okay. That's when he got a different answer from a different person.
The next employee I got, the lady said that it's not fine. We have to cancel everything. And it jumped about $6,000 in price extra.
His name was corrected on the new ticket. He was flying business class, and on short notice, the new price required to board was now over $11,000. He felt he had to go through with the trip as he had planned it for months and prepaid for many tours and outings.
Because I couldn't cancel the flight, I booked the time off from work. I did flights within the country I was going to and excursions and hotels.
Bowman enjoyed his vacation, but when he got home, he felt he should be compensated since he did check with Air Canada if his ticket would be valid with the missing space. When CTV News reached out to the airline, it said passengers should always check the booking confirmation immediately after they purchase a ticket to be sure all information is correct, including the itinerary, travel dates, and name spellings. But Air Canada added, the customer should have been advised more clearly about his options during the initial call, which would have remedied this situation. So we have refunded the difference. Air Canada just returned over $6,000 to Bowman, which was great news for him.
Thank you, CTV, and thank you, Pat Foran, for being behind my back for this. I'm so happy I got the money back. Thank you so much.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
The last place team takes out the Stanley Cup champs.
See moving down from the left point across the
And the Canucks did it with a couple of power play goals from slumping forward Elias Pettersson. A bright spot as a dismal season winds down. The Ringside Report is next. Plus, love and laughter. Adam finds out watching crows and making puns are inspiring enduring love. Next on the Sawatsky Sign Off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Well, many people are feeling the pinch, and for those who own small businesses, it's twofold. Thursday on Your Morning Vancouver, how companies are struggling with rising costs. Will they be passed on to consumers? Also, we'll learn about the Vision pilot program in schools to make sure kids can see to the front of the classroom. We'll see you in the morning.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. For your best financial health, choose FlexiLine Fitness from Capital Direct. Call us today.
It's been a season to forget for the Vancouver Canucks, trading away their captain Quinn Hughes and sitting at the very bottom of the NHL standings. But lately, there have been signs of improvement as the franchise navigates the ups and downs of a full-blown rebuild. CTV's Kevin Chirac has this week's Ringside Report.
moving down from the left point across the Pettersson.
The drought is over. After going more than 2 months without an NHL goal, Elias Pettersson scores a pair in the Canucks' 5-2 win over the Panthers.
It's nice to get a bounce to go the right way, but I'm just trying to play the right way. I know I still have a lot to do to be where I want to be.
The Canucks' $11.6 million a year forward has had a rough season, performing well below expectations. But head coach Adam Foote says he's noticed a shift in Pettersson's attitude.
I don't think it's about necessarily his skill set or things like that. I think he's just working on his work ethic. He comes out early. He goes on the bike after games. He's changed his whole mindset. He's been doing it for 4 to 6 weeks now.
Here's Rossi all alone in front, he scores!
Canucks center Marco Rossi also finding his stride with 7 points in his last 3 games.
I mean, it's clicking, game by game. It's always getting better. The chemistry is coming.
Rossi got off to a slow start with the team, battling injuries and adjusting to a new home after the blockbuster Quinn Hughes trade brought him here from Minnesota. But lately, Rossi has found real chemistry with line mates Brock Besser and Liam Ogren, a trio now aptly named the Bro Line.
It's been tough for sure this year with the trade and the injuries and all that stuff, but I think he's been working hard to get back to his best form, and I think he's close to that.
While the team remains last in the league standings with less than a month left in the season, Foote says he's seeing signs of progress.
You can feel the momentum change. You can feel in the locker room it's different. The energy on the ice in practice is different.
Next up, the Canucks host Tampa on Thursday. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by Capital Direct.
CapitalDirect.ca.
A giant panda cub is stealing hearts online after video showed it enjoying a bowl of milk after some playtime in southwestern China. The cub can be seen happily slurping up the milk after a long day of rolling around in the mud. The little one then decides to curl up and take a nap. The panda is one of 2 cubs born in August last year. Officials say the video offers a glimpse into life at a panda conservation center in the Sichuan province. Oh,
So
how adorable.
cute.
I would like to live like a panda a few days a year.
100%.
Just like drink milk, roll around in mud,
and eat bamboo.
And then have a nap.
Exactly.
We should have a panda day every year.
What more could you ask for?
Okay, it is time now for Homeward Bound, our weekly segment where we introduce you to furry friends from local rescues who are looking for their forever home.
Yes, and here are some pets now available to adopt from the BC SPCA.
Okay, say hello to Little Bear. This Great Pyrenees Labrador Retriever mix is a friendly, affectionate 3-year-old who loves spending time with his humans. Little Bear is still learning his manners and leash skills and will do best in a home with some patience, guidance, and lots of love. Little Bear is available for adoption at the Richmond SPCA. See, it's hard to discipline a dog with that kind of face,
You
right?
just want to boop his nose. He's so cute.
No wonder he's still learning, right?
Yeah, all right. Well, let's meet Archie right now. This 1-year-old coon hound is full of energy and is always ready for adventure. He loves long walks, hikes, exploring new areas, and playing outside with his people. This pup will do best in a home that can keep him active and entertained while helping him learn his manners. Archie is available at the Burnaby SPCA location.
Very cute.
All right, last but certainly not least, Smokey. This 4-year-old is a kind-hearted cat, a little shy at first, but will open up with time and patience. Smokey is in need of a home that can keep him on his specialized diet to help him with his weight and urinary tract health. Now, if you're looking for a loyal, loving friend, Smokey is available for adoption at the Richmond SPCA.
So very cute.
How can you pick between the three?
Pick them all.
Smokey. Classic cat name, isn't it, Smokey? Okay, for more information, you can head to adopt.spca.bc.ca. We'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in just a moment, but first, Dimitra, what's coming up tonight on the Late News?
Yeah, Mi Jung Mok's coming up tonight. Another soaker is slamming Metro Vancouver, and it's not letting up. An atmospheric river is parked over the south coast with up to 130 millimeters of rain expected by Friday. Environment Canada keeping its yellow rainfall warning in place. Heavy rain on melting snow could mean flooding, washouts, and a higher risk of landslides. The rain is set to intensify tonight into Friday. We will have the latest details at 11:30. Mi Jung.
All right, thanks a lot, Dimitra. An unlikely love story has traveled from Germany to Burnaby. The couple at the center of it could hardly understand each other when they first met. Decades later, they are birds of a feather with a penchant for crows. Here's Adam with tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Although Bearball and Jim Allen are sitting down, he's being inspired by the crows that surround them, like a stand-up.
Because I go way back, Cro-Magnon time. So that dates me, I know, but...
When he's not making crow puns about his age, Jim's making crow puns about two birds squawking.
Oh, Micro and Macro, the brothers, Mike and Mac, they argue a lot about economics, but...
Well, he can apparently comprehend crow now. Jim and Bearable could barely understand each other when they first met while he was visiting Europe, back when she looked like this and he looked like that, and she wondered about the letters VGH on this hospital smock he was wearing.
And I said, Vancouver's greatest hugger. Not an iota of response.
Her English wasn't good enough to get it, and his German wasn't good enough to explain.
So I had to demonstrate. And now, 38 years of wonderful marriage later, here we are.
While they both fell in love at first hug, their relationship deepened through transcontinental phone calls. And by the time they exchanged vows, they were the best of friends.
You married sometimes for the wrong reason, good looks or whatever. So
well, I'm married for that too.
Yeah, me too.
While Bearable and Jim try to visit the crows once a day, they credit the longevity of their love with making each other laugh throughout, every day.
It is very nice to listen to my husband's laugh.
And I like to hear her laugh as well.
Yeah.
It's even better if she's laughing with me, not at me. You know.
While a crow cawing can occasionally inspire comedy from Jim,
you know, they sometimes swear. Have you ever heard of crocus?
laughing with his beloved Bearable always deepens their love.
I like listening to words of love because I have an ear in the middle of my heart. H-E-A-R-T.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Burnaby.
Could you handle those kind of dad jokes all day long?
No, I couldn't. But they say laughter is the best medicine, so that's keeping their marriage strong for 38 years.
And she's still laughing at all his crazy puns, so I guess he found the right woman.
Exactly.
Perfect match.
Yes, and those crows sure keep them busy.
I don't like the crows as much as they do, though.
They're so smart. See, I like them.
Sometimes they're aggressive.
They are. Just don't get them mad, and you're fine, me, Jung.
I guess I've crossed that line then a few times.
There you go.
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. A pretty picture of the sun trying to peek through the clouds in Nanaimo. Thanks, Tina, for sending this photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful shots. We just have to get through a couple more days of rain.
The
And we
weekend,
need it.
hopefully a little smoother sailing.
A lot brighter.
Yeah. All right, thanks for joining us. Demetra's back tonight at 11:30.